But he would spread those perfect legs and finally,
Spank me, Clark!
finally, get what he'd been imagining for far too many lonely nights.
Like these thighs, Clark.
His tongue was already eager. Eager to taste his sweat.
Oh yeah, that's a fupa.
To part his buttocks.
You aroused yet, Clark?
And use his super speed to turn that circular muscle into a personal vibrator for Bruce. Hello. The Dork Knight here. In honor of Valentine's Day, we have a very special piece of Batman fanfic written by Gus Leoncito, titled Batman Thighs, is on the website Archive of Our Own. With the summary, Clark is obsessed with Batman's thighs, and he needs to spread them open. With the tags, Clark needs to eat Bruce's ass. Clark Kent has a large penis. Clark Kent has a crush on Bruce Wayne. Sex in Batcave. Bottom Bruce Wayne. Rimming thighs kink. Y'all love them thick thighs, them thick, juicy Batman thighs. In honor of the holiday of love, we're going to read Batman Thighs, Chapter 1. Kevlar. The night in Gotham was as usual. Nothing out of the ordinary beyond the crimes the duo regularly fought. Fog and steam rose from the sewers in ghostly plumes, swirling among the skyscrapers. Police sirens tore through the momentary silence with their frantic, infuriating wail, making it clear that the city remained as wide awake as the night. Superman floated a few feet from a dilapidated terrace, keeping pace with the Dark Knight, who was presumably focused on the touchscreen hidden in his forearm, tracking down the criminals they were to apprehend. Bruce, enveloped in his billowing black cape, moved with such grace that any citizen might pause their activities just to watch him. His suit, designed to be a second skin, clung to every contour of his body, honed through years of obsessive discipline. For Clark, every movement of the bat was torture. Every twist, every leap, every flex of his muscles was a visual delight that threatened to shatter his legendary concentration, which he had been lacking lately, at least next to the Pale Man. That night, they had agreed to a plan to thwart a potential terrorist attack. It was a favor Clark owed him after a particularly irritating crisis with the Justice Gang. And while they had managed to dismantle almost the entire organization, some loose ends needed to be tied up. And Bruce was never left with loose ends. Never. As Batman leaped fluidly from building to building, Clark felt his attention being drawn back into dangerous territory. The reinforced Kevlar clung to Bruce's legs in a way that could only be described as obscene. Every fiber of the material seemed specifically engineered to outline the musculature beneath. Every tension, every perfectly sculpted curve, every flex of contained power. They were impossibly firm, juicy in their muscular density, rounded in a way that made Clark's mouth both dry and wet. He was seriously considering therapy for his newly discovered fetish. He found himself imagining how they would feel under his touch. Warm, definitely warm, radiating that body heat that only intense physical exertion could generate after a long night. Solid under his palms, firm yet flexible. Would there be a thin layer of sweat covering them after hours on patrol? Would they leave marks from the pressure of his Kryptonian fingers if he gripped them tightly enough? How flexible was Batman? You want to see how flexible Batman is? Let me show you. See? Look at that. Yep. I can almost touch my toes.
Spank me, Clark. Hey, Clark. It's me, Brucey. Like these thighs, Clark. I don't think I can get up. Oh, fuck. That's how flexible Batman is. You like that, kids? You aroused yet? You aroused yet, Clark?
The fantasy grew dirtier, more urgent. What would it be like to bite them? To feel the texture of the Kevlar beneath his teeth before tearing it away, to discover the pale skin underneath, to lick them slowly. Tracing the path of each muscle with his tongue, gradually, inexorably moving upward, until he reached where they lay, where they could open for him, and...
Superman! Are you with me?
Batman's deep, raspy voice sliced through the night air like a batarang, brutally pulling from his trance. Clark blinked, disoriented for a second, before focusing on the figure watching him from the edge of a rooftop. Bruce had stopped completely, turned toward him in that particular stance, leaning slightly forward, legs spread in a relaxed fighting position, his weight distributed in a way that made them look even more imposing. The mask hid most of Bruce's expression, but the detective was eager to make his frustration with the alien clear. Clark swallowed hard, forcing what he hoped would be a casual smile as he climbed down beside him. His boots touched the roof with a soft crunch, and suddenly they were too close. He could see every detail. The subtle veins that stood out beneath the tight material of the suit. The way the Kevlar tightened with each of Bruce's breaths. The slight tremor of someone who had been in constant motion for hours. "Sure, Bats. Just admiring the view of the city," he lied, and the falseness of his words burned his tongue. "Everything is beautiful." A complete lie. The only sight that mattered, the only thing in all of Gotham that held his full attention, stood before him, shrouded in Kevlar and shadows. So close now that he could reach out and test if they were as solid as they seemed. His super strength, his invulnerability, his senses, none of it mattered against this particular weakness. It was obsolete to the human. It was a Kryptonian vulnerability, not found in any League manual, any file in the Fortress of Solitude. Batman watched him for a few seconds that stretched like chewing gum. If he weren't wearing his mask, Clark was sure he'd see an eyebrow raised. The most powerful Kryptonian on the planet saying Gotham was something cute was stupid. But Batman only snorted, a brief, guttural sound that could have meant anything, before turning back towards the city. His cloak moved with the gesture, revealing his legs for a moment longer before concealing them again.
"We've got activity at the East Docks,"
Bruce reported in that modulated Batman voice, devoid of any emotion.
"3 unregistered vehicles. Thermal signature consistent with Class A explosives. Left. Left swipe. Left. Oh, that's a baddie. Right swipe. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's a fupa."
They continued forward in tense silence. Batman led the way, his grappling hook whizzing. Through the damp night, the cable slicing through the air before snagging on ledges and gargoyles. Clark flew parallel, keeping pace effortlessly, but his mind wandered constantly, betraying him time and time again. He truly didn't understand the reason for his own carnal desire. He was Superman. He had faced gods, galactic tyrants, existential threats that could erase the entire multiverse. He had an iron grip on every single aspect of his being, his strength, his senses, his emotions, except for this. Except for the growing, consuming obsession with Bruce Wayne and what he concealed between those legs. His mind constructed scenarios without his permission. An accidental stumble during combat that would send him tumbling on top of Bruce, their bodies entangled on the ground, those muscles opening instinctively to accommodate him, or the cape slipping to the side during a fall, revealing him on his knees and palms, vulnerable in a way he never allowed himself to be. Or better yet, a fight gone wrong, Bruce injured but conscious, Clark having to carry him back to the Batcave, feeling him envelop him like a vice. The heat building in his lower abdomen threatened to become visible. He subtly adjusted his cloak, using the red material to conceal the evidence of his inappropriate desire. Then he felt guilty, immediately guilty for having imagined, even for a second, Bruce injured, just to satisfy his fantasies. "I'm screwed," he thought bitterly. "Completely screwed." Suddenly, a metallic clang on the docks alerted them. The unmistakable sound of heavy crates being unloaded. Male voices speaking in code. The drone of engines kept running for a quick getaway. Batman instantly ducked, melting into the shadows of the building. That position, that damned stalking position, made Clark stifle a genuine groan, biting the inside of his cheek until he tasted his own golden blood. The fabric was taut, in a particularly obscene way, outlining every muscle fiber, every tendon, every perfect curve. "Let's go," Bruce murmured, his voice barely a husky whisper that slipped directly into Clark's ultra-sensitive ears, like a caress. And then He leaped into the void with that suicidal confidence that only he possessed. Clark followed automatically, but in his mind, the patrol had ceased to be about crime hours ago. As they descended toward the group of criminals, unaware of their destination, Clark Kent made a decision that would likely condemn him. That night, he was absolutely determined to rip that damn suit off Bruce Wayne with his bare teeth. In the alley after the fight, in the Batcave when they got back, in the seat of the Batmobile if he had to, anywhere, anytime. Maybe in every single place he'd mentioned, round after round. But he would spread those perfect legs and finally, get what he'd been imagining for far too many lonely nights. His tongue was already eager to taste his sweat, to part his buttocks, and use his super speed to turn that circular muscle into a personal vibrator for Bruce. Well, that was unique. There are apparently 4 more chapters of this, but yes, this was Batman Thighs by Gus Leoncito. I'll post a link to it in the description. Be sure to go in the comments and tell me what you'd like me to read next. I'll literally read anything. Thank you all, and happy Valentine's Day to everyone. I hope you're enjoying it with your significant other, or what's more likely, that you're alone watching a video of Batman and Superman Erotica. 2026, what a time to be alive. You can poop and listen to a man in a Batman mask talk about Clark Kent wanting to spread open Batman's thighs. Things are bad, but at least we have Batman Erotica. It's all kind of a wash. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more of whatever this is. And if you need a Valentine on this Valentine's Day, I'll be your Valentine.